Hey guys, Ronan back here with another episode, reaction episode to Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Uh, Last week we did an episode where they were talking about the black market in the future and like people selling off body parts whenever people aren't using them, whenever they get cyberized and things like that. Crazy stuff. We're on episode 9 now. It's called Chat, Chat, Chat. This is actually the one episode I've been really afraid to react to from an editing standpoint, because any of you that have ever edited reactions before, it's difficult to edit episodes that have a lot of talking, because you want to get to hear what the show has to say, but also give your feedback to it at the same time. This episode is, from what I remember, nothing but that, and it's like crazy existential level type of shit. So it's I'm afraid to do this. I hope I can get a word in on this and put my 2 cents on this as it's happening. But we're gonna give it our best try, I guess. I've been kind of viewing everybody that's been watching my channel so far, and so far a big chunk of you are from Japan. So shout out to Japan. Thank you for coming by and checking out my channel. Really appreciate it. And just so you guys know, I do have a Patreon as well. We're usually a week ahead on our episodes for now. As this channel grows and goes along, I hope to do more episodes per week, maybe even different shows at a time. So I hope to get to that point sometime, but you gotta crawl before you walk. So that's what we're doing. We're getting there.
It's kind of a surprise, isn't it? Him showing up after 6 years?
A true understatement. I'm telling you, this matters.
Oh, okay. So this is not the episode I thought I was gonna be. I'm a little relieved that it's not that episode I was thinking of. I can't wait until chat rooms become this. Like, if it ever comes to this, like, I can't wait for it. It'd be pretty awesome.
That laughing man business. Who'd that be?
Basically every person here, you might say.
And you might say there's some who don't.
What's that supposed to mean?
Speaking of stupid, that getup of yours is the new low and
Now, what's the reason behind the Laughing Man's sudden reappearance for this recently failed assassination attempt?
It's all because the world is still full of crap and boring as mud, that's why.
We've known that forever.
We can all agree on that, yeah.
One of my sources informed me that he's definitely a man. And if he was a she, why would he call himself Laughing Man, huh?
Just a minute. You might notice if you go over the assembled information that he never actually refers to himself as the Laughing Man.
So this is a whole, obviously it's a chat room, but they seem to be very big fans, and
So, you're saying that this Laughing Man is a fake?
Don't you think it's possible?
so they're like fellow conspiracy theorists and big fans, and they just love to debate this and try to figure it out. But they seem to be very intelligent about it too. Well, most of them anyway.
Super class A hacker, but the guy never once murdered anybody. Damn, it was getting interesting, but I guess maybe this one is a fake.
What is it about the Laughing Man that makes him so cool?
Cool is his middle name.
He just rocks, man.
This quotient is determined by hacking ability. The modular delayed action virus used in the assassination attempt was a work of art.
On top of that, rumor has it the police weren't able to find a single trace of the virus afterwards.
I see. That's right. The guy who made the virus was killed by someone, which would have to mean the bogus Laughing Man showed up and he was snuffed out.
Who killed him and why?
With that recent death threat, he somehow slipped up and left the trail.
That would be me. Just
Somebody other than the Laughing Man from 6 years ago was responsible for it.
Let me ask you again. Why do you believe corporate blackmail is the Laughing Man's criminal MO? The pivotal premiere event? Was it so cool after all?
We must research the origin before we can discuss this. Okay, let's switch gears and look back at the Laughing Man incident from the...
it's interesting from the Major's perspective that she's, you know, these are not people in law enforcement, but like she still finds an interest in like listening to what they have to say, because they have looked extremely deep into this. You know, you can argue maybe just as deep as anybody else in law enforcement, but it's cool to get outside perspectives. And from like her reactions, it sounds like she's like really getting like something out of it. She's like she's having a good experience with it so far.
Look straight into that camera. I demand you tell the world the truth. Now!
I know we're all probably sick to death of seeing this, but we need to since it's the only time that the person thought to be the real Laughing Man ever showed himself.
He sure is thorough, isn't he?
The local weather forecasts, too. But some rumors say that those graphics were changed after the initial broadcast.
I really love the dialogue in this. It's so thorough.
We're shaking like leaves.
Oh, please. What are you talking about? That's what's so cool.
Like including that little bit about the little logos on the Weather Channel. They're like, hey, they even changed that. It's like, no, it was later thought that showed up after the initial broadcast. You know, to have that in the dialogue, I think it's just so thorough and detailed.
He was trying to expose the deception of exploitative corporations.
That's deep.
You definitely have done something right, I think, when you've achieved that level of fame and yet at the same time no one knows who you are. Like if they ever saw you down the street, they would have no idea.
Wasn't Satsuma the only firm that didn't get funds from the government?
Well, look at that.
No one noticed because
I love all the creative angles that they've had to come up with. This had to have been a very difficult episode to make, I would imagine.
Perhaps we should settle on multiple criminals. A lot of critics point out the differences in
I wonder what all of this
and all the following occurrences.
is this all like a
Personally, I'm for the single.
chat that's popping up for them?
I've got a feeling that the key to unlocking the mystery can be found when we ask ourselves what factor gave rise to the event in the past and the string of phenomena which occurred immediately after this recent death threat.
That's pretty slick, miss.
I think so too.
I must delete the backup cache data that's built up in the server. So let's take a quick break.
Like all that chat, like is that maybe each person's stream, like people chatting with them, or is that things that they're saying? I never knew what that was originally, and I still don't know what that is. So if anybody knows, feel free to let me know.
What attracted me most to the situation was the chivalrous lone wolf hero image he illustrated in the first incident. I was really rooting for him.
Yep, same here.
All right, since none of you seem interested in what I'm trying to say, I'll put some of my best info on the table, stuff I got from an independent source. The official police statement said that the recent multiple simultaneous assassination attempts were caused by the virus spread by Nanao A, but it's a complete lie.
You got any sources on that?
Shut the fuck up.
Curiosity, how many times has JD mentioned the word source while he's been in this room?
80,000.
Truth is, I hacked into the crime scene when it happened.
You what?
I was only peeping the system because I wanted to see how it would turn out. Lots of other hackers like me were there, and I suspect that some members of our audience probably tried to crack their way in too.
Wait, you saw that?
And not just him. He said he suspects other people in the room did it too.
Those that got arrested are just copycats or obsessive fans who don't have lives, like us. After the event, I was diving around in the net, and I found a server that and was registered under his own name.
Wow.
you're right.
Be careful. The thing's crawling with attack barriers.
Wow, so that guy really stumbled on something big.
However, the assassination attempt that Nanao actually did carry out isn't among any of the simulations. So the question is, why did he suddenly turn hitman at the last minute after he had meticulously devised all those other plans?
That's impressive work.
It's the only work I ever do.
Sorry, this is like really interesting, so it's hard for me to chime in here. No shit.
I think you're on the right track, don't you?
Wait, aren't you the lady who pinned down that security guy back at the crime scene? I saw it. And that barrier was a nasty piece of work.
Was there anything left of it? Some fragments?
Yes. Here it is.
Thank you.
I've never seen one that was similar to it. God, was that the real laugh?
Here's a word of warning in return for the fragment. if you find out too much, you won't have a body to go back to in the physical world.
That's scary. Yeah, I'd be like, nope, fuck that. I'm good. Don't. Some things you just don't need to know.
Manage it normal, I'm fine. I've had enough for now, though. I'm gonna call it quits for today. I'm sorry.
Yep.
What? But you never finished what you were saying.
Sorry for the disruption.
We'll get bored with it eventually.
I, for one, have to spend...
That guy had a suspicious look too. Is he involved?
In my opinion, those two situations alone were caused by the same talented perpetrator. All the other occasions, regardless of scale, objective, or rationale of the crimes, were copies.
Not bad, miss. Sweet.
Oh.
It's a forced transfer? Now what?
Oh, he was involved. Oh shit. Is that the real Laughing Man?
And that's the whole story. What do you think?
Couldn't trace it.
Hey,
Huh? What did you say?
don't tell me you've been diving this whole time. Damn your guts.
Come on, I could be asleep and still drive in this part of town. Anyway, what were you saying?
Forget it.
Well, now I don't want to say.
Repeat myself.
Exactly. Tell her.
Phenomena?
You don't have to put up with that shit, Pato.
Two pieces aren't fitting the puzzle.
Wow. That reminds me of San Francisco a little bit. Okay. Damn. That would... Yeah, sorry. I thought that was going to be a whole different episode. I wonder what episode I was thinking of then. Because I know there's an episode where there's a bunch of Tachikomas talking. That's the episode I fear the most. I don't know which episode it is now, apparently. But I thought it was that one. Because it was chat, chat, chat. So I was like, well, maybe it's the Tachikomas chatting. But it's not. No, that was a excellent episode. I can't imagine how hard it was to make that episode, because to even pitch it, be like, okay, like, what do you want to do for this episode? People talking, just talking. That's it, you know. And yeah, there's technically some neat, you know, hacking visuals and stuff like that. So that's definitely interesting too. But the dialogue, the delivery of the dialogue was excellent. I think that was Steve Bloom who was the hacker that was able to see what happened. Which, if that's the case, which I think it is the case, it's funny. He is married to the voice actress who does the Major, who is Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, I think that's her last name. And I have their autographs. I got Steve Bloom and Mary right here. So it's blurry, but that's Mugen, and that's the Major. And but yeah, anyway, so I think that's a fun little, you know, fun fact right there. So it must be interesting to work together like that in that capacity. But yeah, awesome episode, super interesting. Sorry if I didn't speak a whole lot on that one, but like many other episodes, the dialogue was very thorough, very in depth. When you really sit there and you listen to every bit of it, everything, I mean, sounds kind of dumb to say, but just everything really makes sense where they're coming from, how they're kind of deducing things, and yeah, it's just like really, it kind of had everything. It was very realistic. It was very, you know, things that we would say, you know, normally if we were trying to break down something. But then it's interesting too, because they only had access to so many pieces of information, and so to watch them try to deduce everything, with the exception of that one hacker, who was like basically kind of like reaching out and being like, hey, I really would love to talk to people on the same page on this, but obviously you guys don't have access to this piece of information that I have, so here it is. And you know, here it is, this is what happened, what do you guys think? And so but like, you know, he wasn't able to get too far because obviously he's talking about classified information, and you know, and the Major stopped him not only stop him from leaking information, but also to protect him too at the same time. So that was kind of cool. But man, but that's interesting that she was able to go in there and she was able to get pieces of evidence that were missing from that day. So that's really cool. I wonder what she's gonna end up doing with that information. I don't know what even having those things would even do, to be honest. But if you guys know, let me know. But yeah, awesome episode. I think I'm gonna do another episode here in a moment. So I'm looking forward to that too. But yeah, thanks again, people that came by to watch this all the way through. You're great. Everybody that's been spending time with me, excellent. Please like, subscribe, comment. I love chatting with with people that do comment, so would love that. Hope to grow this channel to where we do more and more things. So we'd love to get to that point. But yeah, thanks again. We'll see you next time.